The purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. It is no substitute for professional care by your doctor or your qualified healthcare professional. Never disregard or delay professional medical advice because of something you've heard on this podcast or in any linked material. Guests who speak on this podcast express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions. Dr. Shirley neither endorses nor opposes any particular opinion discussed on this podcast. The views expressed on this podcast have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, practice, institution, or other entity with which Dr. Shirley may be affiliated.
Welcome to Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty. This podcast is curated by Dr. Shirley Madhere, MD, as the definitive source of holistic wellness through beauty.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Shirley. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Fab, a segment of the Forever Fab podcast where I review products, services, experiences, and frankly, whatever, in 15 minutes or less. If the full-length podcast is a couture dress, for example, then 15 Minutes of Fab is like a button-down French cuff white shirt paired with leather leggings. If you don't have time to tune into the full-length podcast, then check out 15 Minutes of Fab, just a small dose. Some have considered it truth and beauty or plastic surgery secrets or as a nerdy or academic take on wellness and beauty with a dash of fashion. Consider it what you may. My aim is to engage you as a credible and authoritative voice in most, if not all aspects of beauty and wellness with a dash of fashion. That includes products, wellness services, technologies, innovations, new scientific research, and plastic surgery. As the founder of Holistic Plastic Surgery, my approach to beauty is through a lens of wellness that's grounded in science, backed by medical study and research, strengthened by my clinical experience, and bolstered by my surgical training with the use of principles and techniques of plastic surgery. And then there's my love of fashion, of course. I feel uniquely qualified to talk with you about beauty, wellness, aesthetics, and plastic surgery, as well as products and services within those spaces, not only because of my extensive, and may I add, expensive training and expansive background, but also because I'm one of you. Many of the human issues around aging and being a fierce fab person, as well as an agent for positive change, I live these too, and I try. You're not alone. So together we can help the world become a more beautiful, forever fab place. So if you'll have me and give me at least 15 minutes of your time, let's get at it. In this new year, I've decided that it will be one of expansion and discovery. So I'll explore all sorts of topics, near and possibly far-fetched, while still focusing on the topics that make the Forever Fab podcast, well, fabulous, namely fashion, the art of living well or wellness, and beauty. As part of my philosophy of holistic plastic surgery, which I created well over probably now 15 years ago, where I believe that beauty emanates from within, wellness plays an integral role in my practice, and this goes for many aspects of life that help you to live in grace and beauty, including nutrition, exercise, products, services, technologies, mind, body, spirit, and science. This week's episode of 15 Minutes of Fab on the Forever Fab podcast is dedicated to discovery. The title of this week's episode of 15 Minutes of Fab is Beauty News You Can Use. Spirulina. Now, you all know I'm a proponent of eating well for better skin health. Some new and very exciting research adds yet another ingredient to the mix. A scientific study was published recently that examined the effects of olive extract and spirulina on the skin. This study found that the combination of the two provided deep hydration to the skin. You've probably heard about olive extract or olive oil for the skin and its benefits in the past. So on today's episode of 15 Minutes of Fab on the Forever Fab podcast, I'm going to talk to you about spirulina. You may have also heard about spirulina in the past. You may even take it as a dietary supplement. Well, what is it exactly? Spirulina is algae. Yeah, blue-green algae specifically, that is sourced from ponds, rivers, and lakes where it grows naturally. It's also cultivated worldwide for various commercial uses, as I'll discuss. But essentially, it is a biomass of microorganisms, meaning just like this collection of microorganisms that generally consists of three different types of bacteria. So when you go to a pond or a lake and you sort of see some stuff floating on the top, especially if it's blue green, and someone says, "Oh, that's algae," it could very well be spirulina. Now, historically, spirulina was used as a food source for the Aztecs up until the 16th century. And then kind of no one talked about it or heard about it, or at least, worldwide at that time, until some discoverers, some, you know, seafaring folks rediscovered it in different cultures. In the 1940s, Africans used it as a food additive to broths to help prepare their meals. Now, today, more than 70% of the spirulina market is currently for human consumption. However, it's also used as a livestock feed additive. Nutritionally, spirulina is a robust source of thiamine or vitamin B1, riboflavin or vitamin B2, niacin or vitamin B3, copper, iron, magnesium. It is also rich in a plant protein, which makes up 65 to 70% of its content. So most of this protein comes from the actual pigment that gives spirulina its blue-green color, and that's called physocyanin. Now, the exhaustive list of phytochemicals or active plant compounds in spirulina actually is really impressive, and it includes a large number, a high number of vitamins, antioxidants, minerals, etc. And they include water, calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, zinc, copper, manganese, selenium, vitamin C, the B vitamins I mentioned, more B vitamins like folate and vitamin B6, vitamin A, what else? Choline, vitamin E, vitamin K, fatty acids, more fatty acids, and yet more fatty acids, amino acids, tyrosine, valine, arginine, histidine, etc., etc. The list, as I mentioned, is exhaustive. So this sounds like a superfood, no? 1 tablespoon of spirulina contains 20 calories, 4 grams of protein, 1 gram of fat, 2 grams of carbs, 0 grams of fiber, and at least 0 grams of sugar, according to WebMD. Now, as with all medications and supplements, there are risks associated with taking spirulina as a supplement. It may have adverse interactions when taken with prescription drugs, especially those affecting the immune system and your ability to form clots in your blood. Spirulina should also be used with high caution in those who are pregnant or those who have diabetes, autoimmune disorders, or bleeding disorders. Now, in regard to oral supplements in general, be sure, if you're going to take them, to A, consult with your physician, and B, to purchase from a clean and reliable source, as many products can be contaminated with heavy metals, toxins, or bacteria. Side effects of spirulina may include, but certainly are not limited to, headaches, diarrhea, bloating, and gas. Okay, so now we know in general what spirulina can do for your insides. Let's talk about the external benefits. Did you know that the algae is an important ingredient in natural cosmetics? Now, according to ResearchGate.net, quote, currently spirulina has been incorporated in topical skincare formulations such as a moisturizing, anti-wrinkling, anti-aging, and anti-acne agent. Furthermore, this microalga is used by cosmetic formulators to promote healthy sunscreen protection, to treat skin pigmentation disorders, and to heal wounds. Most commercial cosmetics claim a large range of spirulina properties, including antioxidant, revitalizing, remineralizing, moisturizing, and protecting, alongside cleansing and radiance actions, both for hair and for skin. End quote. How exciting. It is a reliable anti-aging moisturizer that also has strong antioxidant capabilities to help reduce the damaging actions in premature aging from free radicals. So the next time you're shopping for skincare products, don't necessarily turn away the blue stuff. It might be the one thing that transforms your skincare routine for better results. Ask your plastic surgeon, dermatologist, or other skincare specialist about topical spirulina and if it would have benefits for your skin. Again, I'm a proponent of eating well for healthy, radiant skin. So, check out spirulina as perhaps an ingredient you might want to add to your salad or your smoothie. This concludes this episode of 15 Minutes of Fab on the Forever Fab podcast. And as always, stay beautiful and forever fabulous inside and out. Thank you for listening to this week's Forever Fab podcast episode of 15 Minutes of Fab. Until next time, live well, prosper, and stay beautiful inside and out, and stay forever fab. If you like this episode of 15 Minutes of Fab on the Forever Fab podcast, please share it and subscribe to the feed. Did you learn anything new? Review this episode by writing just one word to describe the value you got from listening today, and give this episode a 5-star rating. In case you missed it, listen to this episode, past episodes, or check out who's coming up next on foreverfabpodcast.com. If you enjoy listening to the Forever Fab podcast, get more audio and more visuals with a membership through Patreon. Choose the gold, platinum, or diamond tier for premium added content, special co-hosts, lifestyle videos, branded merchandise, and more by visiting patreon.com/foreverfab. And if you are a founder of or represent a beauty or wellness brand and you want to be featured on an episode of Forever Fab podcast segment of 15 Minutes of Fab, send me some stuff. Visit foreverfabpodcast.com and fill out the contact form. For general holistic beauty tips or to set up an appointment with me to discuss your personalized options for leveling up your beauty, go to elementsandgraces.com and sign up for my newsletter. And for an online e-consultation on time, anytime, and on your time, visit clicklift.com for your wellness, plastic surgery, and beauty questions on the go. And it's time for the Elevated House Call, wouldn't you say? Jet Set Beauty RX offers beauty on-call services near your home or other domicile, delivering beauty in the privacy of a medically equipped, state-of-the-art mobile aesthetics unit. Reserve at jetsetbeautyrx.com. That's all for now. Thank you for sharing the love. Goodbye, gorgeous.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty, curated by Dr. Shirley Madhere, MD. Live beautifully and help make the world a more beautiful place.